I just want to start this video by addressing a video I did yesterday where I stated that if I focus really hard this week, I may be able to finish my upcoming book. Now I've got a lot of chapters to edit, and realistically, it was going to be maybe mid to end of June, and that's really like committing every day to a chapter a day to edit. So I'm like, you know what? If I just throw myself into it like a crazy person, maybe we can get it done by the end of this week. That'd be wild. So I did. I asked for my tarot cards yesterday. I was like, "Is that realistic?" And I can't remember what card it was. I can't remember off the top of my head now. All I know was that it was unrealistic. Spirit was not Spirit saying that's not a realistic target. And I got to the end of the day and I thought, yeah, it's not going to be a realistic target at all. Last thing we'll do is rush something out, and even then, even if I tried to reduce the quality, it still probably wouldn't be finished because it's too much work. So it's crap. But what I think is important there to take away from that isn't that it's an impossible target. It's like, even if you set an impossible target, what you're doing, you're allowing yourself to get something done quicker anyway. So let's say it takes 2 weeks, not 1 week. By making it feel it to yourself that you need to do it a week, what you're doing is you're going to get a lot more done. Even if it's impossible, you're still going to get more done than you would have done if you didn't push yourself. So that's how I see it. So even impossible targets, there's a benefit too. But yeah, it's definitely not going to be done in a week because we've already what day are we on now? Tuesday. There's just too much to do. So anyway, that's unfortunate. But yeah. So I think that's important. So there's something else I was going to discuss really, and it was just like you go through life and sometimes you meet people and you just think, you know what, there's something there. It just nags at your head. You're not trying to be obsessed with someone. You're not going like in some sort of crazy territory. It's just something exists. Energy. And I've asked about specific people, even people I don't have any interest in, like someone, even if it's anyone from the past, because it's just like a little curiosity here, because I follow signs, um, and of course, if I get signs in my life, there's a reason for it, and it's just me interpreting things. So again, it was a curiosity. I couldn't sleep. I just thought I'm going to ask some questions. So something comes up in my life a lot. So like this person that I liked, it's a brief meeting. It was like only spoke for an hour, but it was just the energy of them. It was nice. I think the thing when it comes to relationships, especially like someone like me, for instance, you go on a spiritual journey, and I've said it before, it's going to be really hard for me to be in a relationship with someone who is not spiritual. So finding someone that's spiritual and have so many other qualities, it's such a fine task. It does seem impossible because I don't want to be with someone you got to keep convincing them or something, or or they're laughing behind your back. These sort of things, you don't need that, and it's like a lot of people, they live very low vibrational existence, so they get involved in like gossip, toxic drama, and all sorts of shit, and it's like you don't need that in your life. Um, and then there's like this, people with intelligence. You have an elevated conversation. It's like life's just better. Life's just better. But you start finding these people, it seems impossible until you happen across them. So, like I said at the time, and I still think that, but I'm still figuring it out. I can't remember their name, so it's really hard for me. Like I'm trying to think of the name. So if I ask any questions through my cards, for instance, I have to refer to the person I met. And the spirit knows who I'm talking about, but I can't attach a name to it. So then I like following the signs. And I get this, and I'm getting them quite a lot. I'm getting different variations of, but the same letters pretty much. And it says these two initials are meant to be together, and it's literally my daughter's initial and someone else. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. So I'm like, okay, that gives me something to work off. And then I started seeing that letter a few times, and I'm like, okay, that's maybe matching. Maybe that's that person's name. And then I know, like in my own mind, so I'm trying to ask a question, but I'm just thinking a little bit. Well, not like a deep introspection on it, but it's just all of a sudden the name Catherine come to my mind. Catherine, and I'm like, okay, is her name Catherine? You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to like it comes to my mind. It's like if it is, it's spirit giving me the name anyway. So then I'm like, I think I know something you don't know. Let me ask you. Let me riddle you this. That's how it feels really. But it's like you're just confirming something. So I said, is their name Catherine? Now I might be wrong on this. Believe me, like you can get this is one of those where you ask a question and it's incredibly specific. I'll be, even though I'm getting a sign here, if I meet them again at any point and it turns out their name is Catherine, it's gonna blow my mind. Like, because that's outrageous. Like, they obviously introduced themselves to me when I had this interaction with them, but I don't remember things like that. I can't remember their name. Like, from that point of view, I can't remember anything about that because it happens too fast. You don't repeat your name 10 times over. It's just an initial introduction when you're trying to organise yourself, really. So this is what I got. Is her name Catherine? I've managed to do this now. What I did, I dimmed the screen. Let me see if I can dim it slightly more because I realised by it being bright is why I couldn't do it before. There you go. So that I was like, is her name Catherine? And I got Justice and then a page of cups. I'm like, oh wow, okay, yeah. So that's an interesting tidbit. I've got cards, but I'm not sure what I really need to ask them. So this is what I tried to do last time. And then I asked, really, what do people think of me? Like specific people in my life. So there's someone who, for a long time, past 4 years, I guess, I have. They're in another country. It's been chaotic as hell. Not in a sense of arguing with anybody or not. It's just that we met online through someone and initially had a spark. Like, you initially had a connection, but they've gone different directions. We've never actually come together, and life's just completely separated us. But we seem to get in contact every now and again, and you'd hope they're doing well in life. But it just, you sort of give up, because it's like, it's too much for me. It's like I want someone where you don't have this frustrating history. I want someone where you meet, and as soon as you start interacting, it's, in essence, it's effortless between you. It's beautiful. That's what I seek. So I'm hopeful that something could come of this if the universe has a plan, which it seems to have, because I have signs of this person having an interest too. So it's not just me overthinking something. Anyway, I don't want to sort of put pressure on anything. I'm just pointing that out. So really, we've got a name here. So then I ask about this one of the specific people, and I say, I'm going to try and remove their name. I don't want to make it too personal. I just said, like, what do they think of me? So this is the person, maybe more from the recent past. What do they think about me? And this is where it's crazy. I had specific cards come out, both people. There's one specific card. So I got I think it's 8 of cups, is it? No, 7 of cups. We got the 7 of cups, the Queen of Swords, and the three. Is it the 3 of Pentacles? Yeah, 3 of Pentacles, and then the 3 of Wands on the back. I think the 3 of Wands was on the back. Yeah. It's back of the deck. So realistically, the way I see that is 3 of Wands is sort of going after things. You could argue going after your dreams, but you're literally pursuing something. But you're working hard, not seeing the results yet. You're just working hard at your craft, which I thought was interesting because, of course, I'm working on my books. Then you got the Queen of Swords, which means you've got a sharp tongue, you're a good communicator, you have strong boundaries. And then the 7 of Cups, it usually means you have choice, you have options, but it can also mean you're multifaceted, so you've got various skills and talents. And that's how they see it. So they see me in a very strong way. So that's interesting, but it wasn't quite as beautiful as how the other person sees me. Now, again, it's just a variation. I could ask again, and maybe it give other details. But that was interesting. So then I ask, what does the new person think of me? Bear in mind, I'm using her name, but I didn't use her name when I did the reading because I didn't want to throw anything off. I don't want to sort of like reference a specific person's name if I don't 100% know their name, even though the source is sort of telling me that, and I've got the name in my head. So why am I getting the name in my head? But anyway, so I've put, what do they think about me? Now, bear in mind, you only had a brief meeting with someone. It's like, do they even think anything about me? It's like, but why? The reality is with me, there's usually a reason I'm thinking of something. It's not usually some sort of weird obsession with something because I have no reason to. It's like, if it meant nothing, then, and it was just a moment, I would just get on with my day. Why am I so attached? It's like, this person's got such a pure energy. That's what it felt like, a pure energy. And it's something you can just truly respect and appreciate, because some people go through life as almost like the underdog. You go through life putting people on pedestals. You don't feel worthy. You don't feel good enough. But we're all good enough. So someone with such beautiful energy, you wouldn't want to taint in any way. You wouldn't want to be like a horrible influence in their life or anything. So if I thought I couldn't handle it, I wouldn't even want to entertain the notion because I'd think they're worth more. But I know what I'm worth too, and I know I can um sort of have a beautiful connection with the right person. And I have confidence in myself. So in that situation, I'm thinking that would be beautiful. Anyway, let's not go too far with that. So this says what we can do actually. We'll do that. I'm gonna because I'm a transparent person. If I'm gonna do it one way, we do it the other way. What we do after this is I will ask what I think of these people after. I think that'd be good. So anyway, so what do they think about me? And after this, I was like, no way. Bear in mind, the other one had the Three of Pentacles, and it come out again. We got the Three of Pentacles, but this time we had the Star, and I was like, holy shit. And then you had I think, is it seven? Oh, Six of Pentacles. So immediately you just recognize the one that stands out straight away, though, is the Three of Pentacles again. It's like the one where you're working hard at your craft. So they're both aware that I'm working hard at something right now, which of course I am, which is pretty incredible, though. It comes out both people, both see the same thing. But this time they see me as the star. There's something special about me. They see I have incredible potential, effectively stardom. So you could potentially be in the spotlight or the potential to be in the spotlight. There's something incredibly special about me that they recognize. Um, Sets me apart from most people. And then you've got, like I said, the Six of Pentacles, and that just shows generosity. So it's just they see me in a very beautiful light, which I thought, oh my God, that's crazy. Like, that's nice. But what I recognize in both is that I'm working hard. They recognize that. And I get signs of an ex-partner trying to come back, which would seem absolutely bizarre. Like, what the hell? And I did ask about it yesterday, and I was even more shocked, to be totally honest. But some people, it's crazy. It just is. So I've got to try and take their name off this one. I'm going to try. I don't think I'm about to do it without their name on. Shit. I don't want people knowing them. But what we're going to do, the back of the deck is the Hangman. That's the one I'm going to have to just remove because otherwise the name, I don't, because they feature in a couple of my books, I don't want to sort of like start throwing names out. So I put, what do they think about me? Now, bear in mind, a few years ago, they sort of ridiculed, laughing at me. That I'm pursuing my dreams, I'm doing things. It only makes sense once you've done multiple projects. You do your first one, they think you're wasting your time. You think you're amounting to nothing. You're reckless, blah, blah, blah. That's what they thought. And then over time, people start to see your qualities. But yeah, I was a laughing stock at one point, apparently. Now they see me as the Magician and the King of Pentacles, which is a huge change from how they saw it before. But what I see with that is straight away I'm picking it up. First of all, it means I can create something from nothing. I literally can create my own reality. And I like the potential to be incredibly successful. King of Pentacles is wealthy. When I asked the question before, it come up with something about wealth as well. They see money with me, and it's like because they are superficial, materialistic. So that's what that is. But when it come up with the Magician, you would say, okay, you can create something from nothing. You're powerful in that way. But the way I saw that compared to the others was they don't give me credit for the hard work I do. They think because the Magician can create anything from nothing, they think everything comes easy to me. So someone like that wouldn't appreciate how I got there. They would naturally just see the money and think it come easy to you, so it doesn't hold much value. Like they can have some. That's how that attitude works. That's how I see that. It's crazy. Um, yeah, freaking easy. Then I asked, what does my daughter think about me? Now I already knew, so I said to Spirit, I'm like, well, you don't. Obviously, we know the answer, but we'll do it anyway. And it was actually quite beautiful. We'll just go over it briefly there. You've got literally the Temperance, which is incredibly healing. So they see me as someone that's healing and fair and balanced and, just a light in their life. And it's community. So they enjoy spending time with me. I'm balanced. I'm pretty sure. Was it balanced? Oh no, that's the page. It's going the wrong way. We needed to start with the Pentacles. But anyway, yeah, because it started with the Pentacles. So unfortunately, it's mirroring, isn't it? It's going the wrong way. It would start this side, So that's it for independent, literally creative of your own reality. Really, it's like self-made. And I've been through an awful lot, or we've both been through an awful lot. That's why the swords are there, and you're trapped in the middle. But then it's High Priestess, so it's incredibly unfair. Unbalanced. It shows a spiritual side. It shows a leadership in that sense, and it shows I've been like I can carry a lot on my shoulders. Um, but I'm a free spirit, which is why you've got the page of wands, and it's like community. So we get on great together, and I also bring a bit of balance and healing in our lives. Um, and I always have options. And then you've also got the Hanged Man, which shows moments of like moments when you sort of like stuck in a sense. It's like nothing just flows all the time. There's usually some reason, there's always times we get stuck in situations. But it's like they understand it, you know. And that for me was like, oh, that's nice. Then I had this video come up. Now I have a lot of synchronicities. I just can't bother to share them anymore. But because I'm doing this video, I thought I'd just address it briefly. It was 2222s, not 3 2s, 4 2s. I'm not sure if it's going to come up here. I'm going to try. You see that? Of course, it's mirroring now. See that heart? 2222 when I liked it. Crazy. And it literally says, where is it going to say it? At the top. Oh, it's all mirrored, unfortunately. It says you have a massive calling on your life. If you don't know if you can briefly see that. It's unfortunate it's mirrored. You have massive calling on your life, and it's 222. And all the things around it, I'll just show your what an inspiration you are. Adversity has built you straight into a weapon. The way that your whole life is about to be moving prayer, breakthrough, fighter phoenix, um, success coming in, 10 of Pentacles, and Wheel of Fortune. Speaker, leader, your voice. You make it look easy, but it was far from easy. Find that quite curious, to be totally honest. It's like some of them cards come out saying similar, doesn't it? The fact that you make it look easy, but it's far from easy. So those who have humility and a gift of their own can relate and understand to how hard my journey would be to do what I do. Those who don't have those traits think it come easy, so they feel entitled. That's what that really says as well, and that's kind of what she's saying there. So I find that quite mad. Right. Because I'm doing a video, and it's only fair, I've got my cards out. I did bring some other decks. I've got loads of decks. I've got like freaking 20 decks, I think. These are Oracle decks now. This one's great. This one's the Gateway of Light. So that tells you more about where you are in your spiritual journey, like what's coming next in terms of your gifts. This one's great because it'll talk about specific things in your life, whether it's maybe relationships, home life, boundaries. This one's great because if you ask what animal I am at the moment or how spirit sees me and all that, it's like, we'll see. We can get a card and it'll show. A little bit more long-winded because I might need the book. I try not to use the books, but there's nothing wrong with getting the book out to get more detail. But let's do this because this is how Spirit knows. Now, I could ask Spirit what Spirit thinks as well. I don't really want to go down that route because I don't want to complicate my life and scare anybody off. But I can't pick and choose how people see. Now, Spirit knows me, of course. So let's do 2 spreads. We do it for me and then we do it for Spirit. I've got to think. I'm not going to say their I might as well just say their name. I don't want to be picky. I don't want to sort of like dismiss. What do I think about Jessica? What do I think about Jessica? Oh, wait a minute. I got a card the wrong way around. Right. What do I think about Jessica? Oh, that's too many cards. Wait a minute. I don't want a whole block coming out like that. That's crazy. So once one comes out, I try and do a couple more shuffles just in case anything else comes out. But I don't preempt anything. If it stops there, it stops there. Right, that's probably it then. One more. No. Again, I'm not forcing the cards. So however they come out, they come out. That's interesting. Because I'm starting to think the shadow side is the devil. 15. What's 15 in tarot? Oh. Because this deck isn't the same as as a traditional tarot deck. 15 tarot, the devil. Yeah. And that ain't me. That's not necessarily a really horrible way. And it is true. I see them as someone who It's like they have addictions and they have tendencies. So they have ways of not always making the best decisions. I think they just it's like I've known them since 2021. We hit it off immediately. It was all online, but we're talking on the phone and all sorts of things. Even like they're going through a lot of things in their life, and I was there for it. We're in the parking lot where she's nearly crying and things like that, and I'm sort of like I'm on the other end of this, trying to help them through it. So if at that point it's like I see an incredible future with you, but when you think about it, that was like 4 years ago. We're nearly half a decade in, and there's been no progress at all. Instead, it's like I've been always the one that's waiting all the time. So like, I've no doubt if we'd got together before now, it could have been beautiful. I have no doubt of it. They feature in a couple in my books. In a couple of the books they just feature, and I've always said that if I meet someone in the future and there's a reference of her, don't feel threatened by it. It just showed me an example of what I could find in someone in the future, and it really opened my heart up to that. So it's not a case of I would carry a specific person through the rest of my life and someone has to feel like their second choice. It's not the case at all. If I choose someone, they're my life. They have my heart, you know? So it's not bound to a specific person just because they featured there. You'd always have respect and love for them, but yeah, it's different to being in love per se. So I don't know if I showed the cards actually. So there they are. So that's how I see that. And then the world is a completion of cycles. If anything, I feel, and this is how I do feel though. I do feel I think we've reached the end of the cycle. Like I'll always have respect, like careful respect for them, but I just feel like time's expired in that sense. But like in the back of my mind, I'm like, if it was them, I know we could have a great life together. Though I just feel it's far too complicated now. Like for instance, by not choosing me, they got in another relationship, which makes sense. You're in a different country, you've got a distance, whatever. But I mean, obviously, I was waiting and I was prepared to wait. They weren't. And then now they've got a child with that person, literally. And, that's an incredible blessing. I wouldn't want anyone to feel anything bad about that. Again, I could handle it. I could handle the situation. But it isn't ideal, is it, when you had the chance to be with me 4 years ago? And it's similar to how I got with my ex-partner. We could have been together a few years ago before that. And then what happens? She gets pregnant, and then we meet each other a few years later, and boom, I've now got this responsibility, but I take it on, and I'm seeing mirroring in my life. And then what happened was I was at this back then. I was talking to an American, same situation, similar. So in that sense, it's similar. I was talking to an American. I was like committed to going down that path. We hadn't met yet. I was making plans to potentially go out. But then she got my ex-partner now, my now ex-partner. We'd obviously known each other before, and then she reached out to me, and then I didn't want to see her because I was like, no, I'm committed to this, and I saw her, and then all of a sudden the sparks flew, and you just you remember what you was attracted to in the first place, and it threw everything out through the work. So you learn from these situations. Um, so I just think that's too complicated now. In all honesty, I think it's incredible a personality level if they heal. Um, then I have no doubt you could coexist and just literally build a beautiful life together in the future. But the complications are crazy. As an American, she'd need a visa, or I'd need a visa. I don't particularly want to live in America right now. I get signs that I'll be in America at some point because for career. But I don't care about being in relationships for green cards and all that crap because I wouldn't see myself in America long term. So in all those things, and plus, I wouldn't be with someone for something like that. That's not the reason. I'd rather do it the hard way if need be. But that's interesting. However, look at the back of the deck, healing. That's interesting. So anyway, I don't want to be too deep there or be. I hope it didn't come across spiteful in any way because I do have a lot of respect from because I understand the healing journey. I think that's where I think that's where the temperance come through there because I do respect the healing journey. Just because I heal in a specific way doesn't mean you can hold people accountable to the same level. Just because I have like a standards where I will not back down when it comes to certain things. Other people just live a different life, and you've got to respect that. If all the things they went through molds them into an incredible human being, really resilient, and it took those moments to build that, then that's an incredibly beautiful journey. It's just that I can't wait for the rest of my life for things to happen. It's like that's 4 years of life. I wouldn't say wasted because I got on with other things. I'm not going to waste another. I'm not waiting another decade. And the longer it goes, the more resentment builds. It does, because it's like what you every chance you have a choice to come my direction, you're choosing a different direction. It's like, I'm not at all. And that's what people do when they think you're waiting for them, or they know you've got them. It's like they wait, they take too long. Life moves on, you know. So I've got to say, should I say Catherine? Because I think her name's Catherine. But I don't want to say Catherine, and it ain't Catherine, and then we're doing who we're talking about. But I think Spirit knows who I mean when I say Catherine. So I'm just going to say Catherine, but I know they know I mean the woman that I met briefly last week. Or should we just say, okay, I'm just going to do it. They know what I'm talking about. What does Catherine think of me? Or at least the woman I met last week? What does she think? Oh, no, wrong way. What do I think of them? What do I think of Catherine, or at least the woman I met last week? What do I think of them? This might be one where Spirit does not reveal. It doesn't feel like something's going to come, because some things are not for public consumption. Right, wait a minute. Well, it come out finally. Something come. I really didn't think they were going to answer, because all right. Oh wow. Oh, it's that way, wasn't it? Well, that's quite freaking mad. Wait a minute. I'm just trying to decipher it. I'll show it quickly, and then I can try and figure it out myself. Because straight away, when I see the three of swords, you'd actually think negative, because it's like broken heart, all those things. But straight away, you've got wedding here. It's a marriage. So I'll try and do it while I'm holding it a little bit here. Yeah, so that there is a sense with that, actually. That one we got five of. Is it a five of pentacles? Five of pentacles. So if you look at it, it's like your frozen finances. You're like stuck. So financially, I don't feel good enough for them, because I know I wouldn't want, and I do think that, actually, you know. And again, that's what they're saying anyway, isn't it? What do you think about them? And it's that that's an honesty in that. I would never want off someone. So if someone's doing well in their career, um, I don't want. I'm only interested in them. I'm not interested in their resources. So everything they have, I want them to understand that wouldn't. I'm not interested in any of that. Like, that's yours. If of course you've been together for a while, then you start to build a life together, and then you know, then you blend a bit more with that sense. But I would want them to understand that's theirs. My finances are tough. I will work it out on my end. It's not for them to do, and I get that's what that is. That's what that is. But I see marriage with them. And I said that in a video, didn't I? I said I can see me marrying someone like that. I said someone like that, but of course, ideally, in the future, who knows? You know, it's a bit of a thing to say now. But then the way I see that is, like, if you look at that, it's so you've got marriage here, and it goes from that lonely isolation where your heart's broke. So you're going from this heartbroken, lonely period of life to marriage. Like, you've got the potential to meet someone and come out of this, and I see him as very genuine, generous, because they had such a light energy. I think I have a good opinion, really, really positive opinion of them. And that's just from a brief thing. So that's interesting. Oh wow, back of the deck, 8 of Cups. You know, I see them as a bit of like a bit of hope. Um, in some of the other cards, ones before that, the cups would be falling over. You'd be looking, thinking some spilled milk. You know, you'd be looking at sort of like things that maybe didn't go right, but you still got some potential. This one's all the cups, like the 8 cups that sit there. I'm not sure if they're full, because obviously 10 of Cups is the one where all your cups are full, you're excited. But it's like this one's, you know, it's starting to have something really nice in your life. So that's nice. What we do here while I'm on it, because I nearly forgot to go that way. I know it's slightly long, this video, but for those interested in the spiritual path, it's like I'm just showing you really the signs I get and how I ask and the clarity I receive, really. What does spirit think about Catherine, or the woman I met last week? Because I just don't want to commit to a name right now. What does spirit think about them? Or of them? Oh, shit. I don't know if that one come out. Let me just keep shuffling. Huh. Wait a minute. It's a strange one, to be totally honest, to get that card alone. Right, I'm going to stop a sec. Oh, wow. Oh, wow, yeah, because I knew it was going to come out with something nice. That was first, and then that was first. I get it, because when you get the devil card, you can think of it in a really bad way, but there's other facets to it, which is why I wanted to clarify further with the devil card. Some cards, if for instance, if you just got the Ace of Pentacles, you could think, okay, that says enough on itself. If you like, they see you, they see um, someone that's going to be successful. So there's a massive big opportunity coming in their life, and that's how they see them. So like, I'm asking, what do they see? This isn't about me now. It's like, what do they think about them? They see them as very successful in their life. Look, financially successful. They're doing well for themselves. Um, but this devil one at the back, you would look and think like nightmares, and you'd say toxicities, but that can also be addictions, and that could be obsessive thinking. So it could be that they're thinking about, you know, having a successful life in the future, but there is a level of overthinking on their end. So that they're an overthinker potentially, but they are incredibly successful in their life, and that's how spirit sees them. So yeah, and at the moment, a bit stuck at the moment. In a moment of pause. So just a moment of reflection. Um, Let me shuffle first, actually, before I ask something. I'll mix the cards up a bit. What does spirit think about Jessica? That's interesting. We had they think the same as me. Oh, well, it's just too many cards. I can't take that. There was a strength card there, but it was like, there's like 10 cards. Effectively, they got the world. And now, don't forget, they're matching what I think about the situation as well, because I said, what do I think of them? And I got that, didn't I? But I got I've done it again, though. Just got a shitload of cards. Oh, what the hell? You saw me shuffling all the cards, right? I just kept mixing them up, mixing them up, mixing them up. The cards just fell together. Literally the same cards as the previous one. So Spirit sees them as equals. Because look at the hell. They've got a couple of extra cards. But you've got the overthinking. I just shuffled the whole thing again. That's why I'm like, what the hell? You've got the overthinking. You've got the Ten of Pentacles. You've also got the Knight of Cups. So they want to come in quite fast to um, give an offer. But you've got this potential to be really successful. I do wonder whether that's attached to me then, because why are they both going to be that successful? And I do get signs of my own success. This one's like wish fulfillment, and that one's like a spiritual leader, so they're very gifted spiritually. But it's like it's spirit's opinion of them, though, isn't it? Spirit gets a window into their life, but it's like they're they're not content, not content with what they have. But that's crazy. But of course, the initial card was the completion of a cycle. So like I said, oh wow, the King of Pentacles on the back. But that's like what I said. If it had happened sooner, we could have had a beautiful life. But it's kind of like Spirit. The way I see that is Spirit saying you can have. I think what Spirit's saying is you can't pick wrong in this situation. Like they're both incredible. I guess signs about that. It'll be my choice if this. It's just. And I'm not here to hurt people. That's the one thing I don't. That's why I'm always straight with people. I've got no interest in leading anyone on or playing people because you do not just because that's not the reason I do it, but you end up shooting yourself. It's just crazy. You end up with nothing. It's like, what's the point of that? Like, just unfortunately, if there's multiple people with opportunity in the future, it's like there's gonna have to be people that get upset because I can't like give people different pieces of me. So anyway, I got to do this one now only because the question earlier. What do I think of my ex? What do I think of her? It's gonna be interesting. I know what I think of her, but let's see what the cards come up with. That's the curious thing. What do I think of her? Not sure about that one. That's interesting. That's actually interesting when I think about it. Yeah. Okay. So that's Temperance, which is quite a positive card, which I thought, what the hell? I ain't got much positive thoughts. Then we got the Five of Cups, which is very despondent, a bit depressed, at a loss. And then when you put them together, I recognise, what do you think of them? It's like, yeah, that's what our relationship was like. I was always trying to heal them. And, obviously I couldn't, but it's like Mission Impossible, really. But yeah, I kept trying to heal them. So there's nothing more than that. It's literally, yeah, Hangman stuck. So with them, see, Spirit's not always truly like they put me through a lot, but there's a lot of healing that comes from that situation. It's what transformed you. So even if someone had the worst of intentions, it's not who they are, but yeah, that. And I wouldn't be surprised if Spirit says similar. So like nothing really. What does Spirit think of me, ex? What does Spirit think about me? Ah, same bloody card again. That's the same. That's what I mean. We're all one and the same here. Do you know what I mean? Like they're thinking the same thing I'm thinking. So I mean, I don't think anything else is coming. I think that's all we're going to get from them. Yeah, literally just got that. They just feel sorry for themselves all the time. And they hide a lot. They're sneaky. You could argue sneaky because that can be part of that as well. It's not very positive, is it? It's quite miserable. That's how they see them. And the back of the deck. Oh, back of the deck. That's interesting. Because that suggests like boundaries, a sharp tongue, knowing your worth. I don't know if that's more about them or me, to be totally honest, regarding the situation. But I'm not going to sort of like say that because that's not, I can't say one way or another. Now, this is going to be a fun one. Now, considering my daughter is my world, let's see what I think. What do I think about my daughter? What do I think of her? Not giving me much. I'm not going to force it. You know, I'm just fine. I'm like, I'm a bit shocked nothing's coming out. Obviously they just flew out then, so we'll leave that there. Let's have a look. Yeah. Oh, all positive cards pretty much. Back of the deck. Yeah, Four of Pentacles. Hmm. Back of the deck. So that means I'm protective of her. Hmm. That's nice. We're gonna break it up into sections just because there's too many to hold. I can't do it all. Um, yeah. So it's conflict. There's conflict where you have to hold your own. So you've got the Wheel of Fortune. I feel her life is going to change for the better. So you've got a financial thing. That's something I really want to give her as a something we haven't had, and I tend for her to have that in this lifetime. And she has the potential for herself too. So I see her life changing, you know, onto a better, more stable platform. But you know, in her circumstance, she is having to hold her own. It's like stand your ground sometimes. Um, but yeah, a stable. I see stability with her. Slow and steady wins the race, if you like. So I always say I see her coming home at some point when the time is right. But it's not rushing, because rushing something only causes chaos. You know, it's not that easy. You could say, oh yeah, well, if this was supposed to happen, blah blah blah. But it's not a case of that, because as much as I don't get on with her mother, it's still her mother. So from her point of view, as much as she would love to come home to me, it would mean at the wrong do it wrong, she may lose that relationship, something that maybe she's not prepared to lose. It's her life, not my one. So doing things the right way takes time. So anyway, that's that, which is um yeah. So again, okay, this is based on my my views of her, isn't it? Does that make sense? So trying to put these the right way round. This is nice. Page of Cups. I see such innocence with her. She's like a pure soul. Um, and I see her working so hard on herself, and you know, maybe she's not seeing the results yet, but it will happen. It will be clear and obvious. Um, there's love, just outpouring of love. You know, I love her with everything, and that's what that is, overflow. Then you got the Chariot. So I'm not really sure what the Chariot's referring to, really, because you can put it down to travel. You can put it down to things are coming in fast. Um, and that's more like truth, clarity, honest, integrity. And that's the thing. Like, we're both similar in that sense. You know, we don't feel comfortable lying. She definitely doesn't either. So I see that as integrity. That card. The way I see that one is, I see things changing fast. I see things changing fast because it's like 15, not that far to 16, is it? So, um, but anyway, that's that. Let's do this one. What does Spirit think about my daughter? Oh wow, we got the Chariot again. What does Spirit think? All right, we're not going to keep doing this because I think we've got a few cards here. That one was there. Then we got the Strength. Yeah. Hmm. Right. Obviously, if I keep shuffling, they'll give me more. They'll give me more deeper look into this. But I'm not going to sit and shuffling just in case anything comes out, because it's just silly. They've given me an answer. I'm just going to take it as is. So normally they give me loves of beautiful ones. like love and things. But they've got to do with it. We've got to deal with what's in front of us. They think she's having to be really, really strong and courageous, dealing with things in her life. Just like me. I bet this is 10. Yeah. 10 of swords. She had everything taken away from her. Literally left for dead pretty much. She's so strong. She has so much courage. And she has to fight her corner. And it's something that she's learning to do for herself. Because I was always the one, like I said, I'm so protective of her. In the end, I had to sort of leave her to an extent to figure out that she has to be able to do these things because you can't rely on me your whole life, you know. You've got to be able to do your own thing. That's what she's going through. That's what she's getting. She's learning, but she's strong. And that's how they see it at the moment. So that's obviously the stage she's at. Back of the deck, pure and healing. Yeah, she is a source of light. That's nice. Like I say, normally we get other cards that are more beautiful around that, but it's like various stages of life, of course. Where are we up to? It's a stage she's at. The magician. So literally can create our own realities. And I think that goes for me and her. You know, you just have the power to change your life. Ethics timing, of course. Yeah. Weirdly, I'm thinking of that. Not that card specifically. I was just thinking about you can't waste time too much because like time will always move forward whether you go with it or not. You know, you don't want to get sort of like left behind with things. That's what I feel with that. Don't take too long differing with things. Trying to think of anything else I might have been thinking about. So what we do? Let's do while I'm sat here. Let's do me animal one. I haven't had these decks out in a long time, so we may need the card book. I mean, obviously some things are going to be self-explanatory, but some of them are going to be quite mad. Like if you've got the antelope or something, like if there is an antelope, like what the hell's that? Oh, I forgot how big the cards are. Okay, these are not the easiest to shuffle. Which card? Wait. Which animal card in the deck currently represents me? Oh, that would need to come out. I nearly took that one, but I'd rather just see if it comes out properly. Like, which card currently represents me? I'm expecting it to take slightly longer, only because I haven't touched the cards in ages. So it's, you know, has to connect. So go me two. Oh, that's interesting. Straight away, I can understand that. Vulture spirit, nothing is wasted. Snake spirit, time to heal. We know snakes shed their skin, so it's renewal, rebirth. The vulture spirit, that's like being left for dead, isn't it? Like I'm guessing that's going to be something like that, where nothing gets left to waste. You learn. Let me see what it is. UVW. Where the hell's vulture? T. Hell, turtle. What the hell? Yeah, vulture spirit. What seems hideous has its own beauty. Didn't know I was hideous, but that's hmm. And the recycling and repurposing the vulture does is as important as any other activity in nature that supports the cycle of life. Vulture Spirit's message is that nothing is to be wasted, for nature sees value in everything that exists. What seems rotten and ugly has the potential to be transmuted into something beneficial. I did think that while it was going on there. Because I get, I know I do that. I turn my worst pain into my biggest power. Like for instance, you go through a lot of hardship, go through trauma, toxicity, and most people it would bury them. But you wouldn't be able to climb out of it. You'd be depressed for the rest of your life. With me, I transmute it. I use it from the experience. I gain the wisdom, so I learn from the experience, And then when I transmute it, I process it, and then I document it in my books and things, and it comes as a way to heal others. As I heal myself, and then by extension, I end up healing others, so people can overcome those situations far quicker, and then value themselves. So maybe they don't find them in them situations so much. Kind of what that's saying there, isn't it? So you are reminded that any suffering you have experienced has not gone to waste. Wisdom and understanding that arose from the experience or talismans that will serve you on the journey wherever you go. What did I just say? What is decaying is only changing form and will fertilize seeds you wish to plant, turning that which has passed away into the substance that will support new growth. All that you might wish to deny or discard as value can be repurposed, reintegrated into the new you that you are becoming and the new life that you are dreaming into being. No pain was in vain, and no experience was wasted, for you have the power to use it to co-create something far better. This is the miracle in your partnership with Spirit. Does that not make sense? Does it make sense to me? So I'm going to do this bit here. It says protection message. Do you wish you could run away from your past, deny your mistakes? Not so fast, says Vulture Spirit. You have gained something valuable from the experience. Let your grief or anger move through you, and soon your emotions will transform, for you will come to see that you have learned and grown. The alchemy of transformation is a gift from Spirit, so never disown what embarrassed, disappointed, or shamed you. I always say that. Don't I? Nothing embarrasses me. It will soon be a source of great wisdom and strength as you work with the magic that allows miracles to be created out of sadness and beauty to arise from ugliness. Vulture Spirit wants you to know that you embody beauty and the alchemical transformation of the past is happening already. Hang in there. You are so loved, and so much beauty has waited to come out of all of this. That's exactly what I'm doing with the books. And I think how I tell my story, that's insane. Snake Spirit, like I said, is quite obvious. We're shedding skin, so we're shedding layers. Again, that talks about growth, exactly what the Vulture are doing, isn't it? So what beautiful cards to come out together. Number 63 and 55. Not sure how else to show them. Maybe you get a nice one. I hope it don't lose focus when I do that. Snake Spirit. All of us need healing at times, and when Snake Spirit appears, it is time to repair, renew, and replenish yourself and your vulnerable heart. Self-care and maintenance work are needed so that your vitality can arise. Give yourself the space to nourish your own well-being. Wait, before I carry on with this, I just want to make a point because I noticed it yesterday, and I don't want to lose that right now. I'll be curious what cards come out for Catherine. Like when I said about who I met last week, I haven't. Obviously, I'd have to go through the video to understand what cards come out, and maybe even look at the cards from yesterday. I can't remember. But my energy, and I've noticed this recently, like I feel fresh. Like it's weird. I feel fresh. I don't like before I was enjoying I like sugary foods. If I'm getting a shopping, I'm getting cakes. I'm getting all sorts of stuff. That's one of the first things I would order is cakes, donuts, all sorts of shit. I'd have cakes and donuts, and I'd go through the whole lot in a day or 2 days if I really want them. And out of nowhere, and it's not because it's not something I've actually actively you know what I mean? This is weird. It's like DNA sort of stuff here. Since I met them, it was weird. Like I get home, and out of nowhere, like maybe the next day or so, I'm starting to feel fresher. I actually feel fresh in myself. Like I haven't had, well, my finances are so poor I can't anyway, so forget that. But it's not that. It's just I haven't even had like things like takeaways. And I was thinking about getting McDonald's yesterday. Like I had just enough I can get a McDonald's if I want a McDonald's. And I thought about it, and I thought, like, you feel a bit healthier at the moment. Why would you want to put all that? Why would you want to eat loads of shit and then maybe feel a bit groggy when you feel healthier today? Like, why not just stay feeling healthy? Now, it doesn't mean you can't have things in balance, in moderation, but it's kind of like why shove crap down you all the time? Doesn't mean I won't have McDonald's in the future, but right now I feel like I'm healing, and I feel that they were the catalyst for an energy shift in myself. It's almost like I'm healing. I'm not saying something's going to happen because I don't want to preempt anything like that or come across as some sort of absurd lunatic. But I almost feel like that's what's happening. I feel like I'm aligning with what needs to happen there's something. I don't know, man. It's just crazy. Like I feel so lighter and healthier. I feel clearer in my mind. I feel more positive with a positive outlook than I had before. It's crazy because I noticed it yesterday. I just thought, wait a minute. Past few days, you've been feeling quite light. Like, feel healthier. That's strange. Anyway, vulnerability is necessary for friendships and partnerships to work, which means all of us will have tender emotions at times. Be gentle with yourself and others now. Shed the past and step into a new way of being, for vitality is rising in you. That's weird. That's kind of what I just said. I didn't preempt any of this stuff. I just stopped because I wanted to remember because something was triggering me, so I thought I'd talk about it quick. This might be a good time to honour the work you have done to heal, grow, and repair any damage within you, within those you care about, and within your community. Celebrate together how far all of you have come in your healing journey and all that you have created. Unburden yourself of anything that no longer supports wellness, prosperity, positive relationships, and well-being, and open the door for healing to occur. So this is a protection message now. No matter how much you may have lost or how you have been disappointed, you are called by Snake Spirit to shed the past, practice radical self-acceptance now. Only by forgiving yourself can you move on, regardless of whether anyone else is ready for healing. When your tender new skin first becomes exposed, you may feel uncomfortable. Love yourself and remain vulnerable anyway. You have been weak, but now you are becoming strong and developing wisdom, and you will do better in the future. Snake Spirit reminds you that hearts can be so easily wounded. Apologies and amends go a long way. Self-forgiveness for your role in what happened can help you heal. Remember, it is the one who has been wounded who often has the greatest power to help others heal. Like, what are we talking about here? That's exactly what we're talking about with the books. This is, even I go, oh, bang, man. It doesn't surprise me that much, but I still like it. I still enjoy it. There's something else I was going to think about then. Yeah. If you think about, I think you call it serendipity or like butterfly effect, whatever you want to call it. It's strange how sequences happened. For instance, I had a few jobs that I've turned down over the past month or so, just because they haven't worked for whatever reason. A lot of the time, it comes down to my back. Like, as much as I want to be able to do things, it's like I know the limits. For other things, maybe there's a slight problem here and there, but inevitably, I know it. I know what the problem is. So there was one job I turned down. It was a permanent role, and it's 29 grand a year. I could have done with that money. I had that one. There was another one that wasn't very good, but I've had a few recently that if I need something, it happens. To be totally honest, there was one that wanted an interview, but I got up late, and I think Spirit was made. What I'm saying here is, I think Spirit's giving me the opportunities when I ask for them, but it's not necessarily in my best interest. But they'll give me the opportunity to pursue it. So that's strange. So I've turned down that one, turned down that one. There was an interview just after I met this person. I was supposed to have an interview the next day, but to be honest, I'm not sure it sat right. It was nights and things, but that was £33,000 a year. So I'm like, okay, you're just thinking of money at that point because you need money. Like, if you need money, we need money. But I can't, I can't make myself suffer for it. So I'm trying to find a balance. I'm trying to make things work. So I got up and I thought, bloody hell, like I'm like 15 minutes and I got to be at this interview, and I've freaking only just woke up. And it's like, the way I see, I'm all about signs. I'm all about things like that. So I'm like, if the universe wanted me to go to that interview, I'd have got up on time and been prepared. Why would you make me wake up 15 minutes before? So I naturally just got ready quick as fast as I can, got in the car. I was 10 minutes late, and I got all the way there, and I just had a bad vibe about it. I just got there, and I just thought, oh, no, this is so sufferable. Plus, I don't like being on the back foot, so there's always that feeling as well. So I just went home. But that was £33,000 a year, That's like, see, this is what I'm saying. But things I do, people would think I'm absolutely insane. No one in their right mind would do what I do. They would jump at the money, their money, money, money. Whereas I'm more about doing the right thing for my journey. Like, what am I supposed to be doing? And the thing is, a lot of these moments, if I had taken them, I would, like, let's say this is the person I don't put pressure on anything. I mean, I'm saying, let's say it has the potential to be someone you marry. I mean, I had the marriage card in it, didn't I? I think that might be what I think of the situation, weirdly. But let's say there's a potential for that. had I took some of these jobs, I would never have met them. Or at least I wouldn't have met them in the way we did. You never know. The universe has a plan. Maybe you meet them in a different way. But you meet them, they get to see you face to face. Do you know what I mean? They get to see your character in firsthand, and they know a lot about your story. So if they like you anyway based off that, I think it says a lot. That says a lot. But the point is, everything I've done led to that moment happening. And then I get a lot of signs. Bit where you saw that 222 video, and I get things like that all the time. Like Spirit's so proud of you for making the decisions you do, even though they're hard. And it's like, yeah, it is freaking hard. It is hard. But doesn't mean I get it right all the time, so don't get it twisted. I sometimes I beat myself up. Sometimes it's not like it's that easy. I think that's the thing, but I think that's where we had that bit as well at the beginning there, where like someone from the past thinks things come easy to you. It's not easy at all. It's not easy to turn down opportunities. It's not, I don't do it to be reckless. I could do with the money. Believe me, I freaking hell, I could do with the money. So I just follow my intuition though. So I do things that other people would just consider wild. But I know I have a big calling on my life, and I know these things are just temporary. So I have to think of the long term too. So while something might give me a financial benefit now and it could change my life in the interim, let's say my future is to be on stage talking and I'm going to help people heal. It's far bigger calling than a traditional job that I've been in before that's ruined my back, for instance. So if I go into these places and I'm going to risk causing more injury, it's not going to be much fun me on stage in the future trying to help people while I'm in incredible discomfort. So I have to be a bit more pragmatic, I think, and just think, well, this is it worth the risk? And there's other things, of course, with that, because it goes beyond, like what the future career could be. It's like your daily life. I see it all the time. You see it with people. I've seen people that go through similar and they push themselves too hard, and you just see them hunched their whole life. You see them in older age, or even not even at older age. They're walking down the street and they're hunched all the time. And you think, I don't want to be like that. I think our health it should always be priority. So I wouldn't want to be a burden on someone, and I certainly wouldn't. So if I've got to push myself outside my comfort zone, I will. For the right fit situations, it'll always have to be for the right moments and certain periods. But yeah, I wouldn't be a drain on someone, because I wouldn't want someone to feel like they're carrying me in any way, because I definitely wouldn't like that feeling. Relationships should be balanced. They should be fair. But one thing I've always said is I would rather someone meets me at my lowest, because then they love me for me, and then our lives can improve, and then you can get. I think if you can get through the low times, like if you meet during the low times, then you can get through the low times in life, because life's never going to be 100% beautiful. You're never going to just go through life blissfully ignorant. It's not going to happen. You're going to have moments that challenge you, and it's like, can someone handle the challenges? Can they handle the ups and downs? And that's really what I want. I want someone who can handle it. So let's say I'm successful in the future, and someone meets me, then it's like all they know is success. What happens if we lose that? Is being together enough? Because if it's enough for me, I think it's quite sad if it's not for someone else, because they're just into the material. That's my concern. But yeah, I wouldn't be a drain on someone. I have no interest in having their resources. But I wouldn't make it weird either. So, there's a balance to be had, of course. While I'm not in the best of situations, if they wanted to do activities or do anything, of course, we'd have to find a balance within it where it's not expensive, because I wouldn't want to be a drain, but maybe we still do things because I wouldn't want them to be bored. But again, there's balance to be had with everything. But I can get out of my situation whenever I choose to. It's just how much am I prepared to lose to do it. That's where it comes to. So it's not like my finances. I can get out of my financial situation fairly quick, as you've seen. Opportunities come all the time. It's just like, how much of myself am I prepared to lose for that? And right now, I don't think being in pain is an ideal situation. And one would wish that hopefully the breakthrough comes in doing what I do, because I'm pretty good at it. You know, I see people all the time. People start going in front of the camera, for instance. They hit it off on like social media, and they say this is their career now. And people go, "Well, how's that? What do you mean this is your career? You're just talking on camera. You're just like walking around your house." And they go, "Yeah, yeah. You know, you don't have to understand." They get all defensive, and it's like that isn't really a career though. Like when you're just walking around your house and vlogging, that cycle will expire at some point. So you need something far more deeper, I think, to share with the world. And I just think what I do, I think it sets me apart. I'm good at what I do, and I've always known that. I do get signs from spirit. I mean, I could shuffle now. I don't know if there's any point, because I know anyway. I'm hidden in plain sight. I've had this for a long time, and that's why I get frustrated with them. So, like, I know my stagnancy or the lack of growth. It's not because I'm not good enough. It's nothing to do with me not being good enough. It's to do with the fact that spirit's keeping me back for now. Either it's something I'm learning or it's my own protection because the world isn't ready. Whatever it is. So I sit there with 8 views, maybe negative interactions sometimes. I don't care. People's projections onto me mean nothing. But a lot of time it's to keep it keeps me stuck. But I know when they're ready to release me, hence this next book, anything can happen because I'm supposed to be in the spotlight anyway. Now, not like I seek the spotlight, but that's where the work takes you. My life will transform like immeasurably, and I've got no doubt about it. It's just that when do they finally release me? Because I think a lot of people who see my qualities will probably think, how the hell are they not successful yet? It's because spirit hasn't let me be successful yet. It's like, just wait for the door to open and you'll see me run straight through it. And I'll be catapulted because I should have been there all along. Destiny. Yeah, I mean, you've got it here. You've got like, oh, okay, we do it this way. So you got wish fulfillment. So your wish is coming true. It's like this innocence. If you look at it, it's like someone who's ready to take on the world, but you're a bit naive. There's a very innocence to this, but you are wounded. You are exhausted. So there's a heavy burden, but there's a real innocence to me. So it's like you've got to be ready. That's what I'm seeing with that. Like you want your dreams to come true. You want it, but there's still this. There's an innocence to this that needs to be nurtured. So what's on the back of the deck? Let's have a look. Oh, it's all upside down. Back of the deck, yeah. Standing your ground, having to fight. Yeah, it's a process. So I don't overthink it. I get fed up. I get angry. Of course I do. Because it's like I work out my ass off and I just feel like I'm hitting a brick wall constantly. I feel like I've got a rubber band around me all the time, you know? Doesn't matter what I do, I can't do anything. And it's a weird state of being. It's almost like the Truman Show. It's like it doesn't matter what you do. You can't do anything. You'd never get to the next stage. Doesn't matter what I do. I could do 10 books, 20 books, 30 books. I could do 1,000 videos. The spirit's not ready. Guess what? We're just going on a loop. Same situation over and over again. And it's just demoralizing, you know? So some people, maybe they will feel sorry for me for that. But it's like, don't worry too much. My breakthrough comes. You know? So like I say, you could meet people and they might think, because of my financial circumstance, for instance, or the lack of growth at times, well, what's perceived as lack of growth, which isn't. It's me building knowledge and wisdom, getting stronger and stronger, more resilient. But what people might perceive as less than is it potentially be their downfall because they'll have to watch me be successful because it's inevitable. And that's not. You can see the way I talk. I'm not being arrogant. It's an awareness. It's just a period of life, you know. I just ride the storm. Continue doing what I'm supposed to do. But yeah, there is a level of frustration within that. But anyway, hopefully this has been informative because I've done this just because I was asking the questions before. And I just wanted to provide a little bit of a perspective on the spiritual path, really, how you can connect to spirit. Because I'm writing my current book. I just did a chapter last night, and it was about tarot. Growing into tarot, I think I called it. Chapter, something like that. And I wanted to show people that it's like there's traditional ways of doing tarot, and then there's doing your own way, you know? And it's like you don't always have to do it how everyone else does. And I do my own thing. So, for instance, I mentioned within the chapter that I shuffle when I talk. If I'm having an internal thought, I'm having a conversation with myself, like thinking of things, or I'm talking out loud to my guides, I'll do that, and cards will just start flying out. And I know that's spirit having a conversation with me. So maybe they're not verbally here, or they're not visibly in front of me, but the cards are flying out. They're communicating all the time. Now, people that are traditionalists don't understand that. Because I had a very gifted medium who I was learning from at the time back in 2023. He was a great mentor. but things I was doing he'd never seen before, and it's like I didn't really that they were trying to force their ways onto me, and it was like I don't want your ways. My ways work. I trust it. So, for instance, he didn't think that when the cards were just flying out that was possible because like we'd be talking and cards would fly out, and he'd go, "Well, what did you ask?" I said nothing. I said, "But I'm getting this, so Spirit's obviously interjecting here." And that's what was happening. So we're talking to each other, and Spirit weren't even in the conversation. We weren't even asking them anything. We were just like shuffling while we're talking. I was just shuffling while we're talking because that's what I do. And these cards are just flying all over the place, and they do it anyway when I'm on my own. So it was like that's my guides. So yeah, if you don't believe in that or you don't agree with that way of doing it, I don't really care because that's how I communicate with them. The other way is they like to do it where you just shuffle 3 times, take a card off the top, or pick a random card in the deck, and for them that works. To me, it's like I don't trust that. Like I don't know. Like I might shuffle if I shuffle 4 times, for instance, I might think, it doesn't count now. OCD would just get in my head. I can't. So I shuffle until the cards fly out. I don't care if I've got to shuffle for a minute, 2 minutes. It ain't usually that long, but whatever. You're connecting to the energy, and it's whatever card has to come out in whatever combination. It'll happen. If I don't ask a question or don't think of anything, nothing comes out of that deck. I could do it for like 10 minutes. Nothing will come. So I know it's them jumping the cards. So they didn't. They thought, no, you should do it my way. So we actually said, okay, let's ask Spirit. And I've got videos on this. If you go on my TikTok, I mean, if you go on it's probably on TikTok, but if you go on my YouTube, there is a playlist that you have to go under playlist though. It was not on my main page because I can only get so many. It was on my main page. There's one called Tarot. There's a playlist called Tarot, and you'll see the sessions between us. Now it might have that in it. I don't know, but it was during those sort of sessions that I had with him. And he said, right, okay. Is what I'm doing working? Does it work? Is it accurate? And it was a yes, and he was shocked. And it's like, see, told you. And that's my point. So that's what I'm putting in the book. I'm making it clear that you can do it your own way. It's you're connecting to your guides. It doesn't matter how other people connect to theirs. You do it. You learn and express your own way, and that's how I get through. And I also make the very valid point that I think is very valid. That's how I start the chapter. I say there's too many people who are accused of being fake when they're at the beginning stage of their journey, when they're excited about a new experience. So they start to share themselves, developing their connection to spirit. They're sharing their first time really testing, like going through, like experiencing divination. So they're using the tarot cards. But because they don't necessarily know the cards, they're having trouble interpreting it, whatever it is, some people will attack them as fake. And it's like, they're not fake, they're learning. Give them a bloody break. So I want to be that um, strength for people, really, when they're developing their journey. So that's what this book's about, really. You're getting a look, really, into my spiritual activation, my breakthrough, but also sort of arm around you while we go through this. So, it's a bit like Losing Mind to Find Your Soul, but, I'm noticing this is probably it will happen anyway. Your writing improves with age, with time, with work. So as I'm reading the chapters, I'm thinking, this is incredible. Like the writing, I think, is really on point. I'm like, this is really high level stuff. Just the writing itself, the literature, the way I'm writing, I'm like, this is just great. I'm loving it. And people might think you're proud of yourself, and of course, just looking at me here, you might think that. But if you read the book in the future, I'm not full of it. I stand by what I say, and the book's coming along absolutely brilliantly. Which is why I can't rush it. I can't say, I'll have it done in a week now, because the standards are that high, and it takes time to acquire those standards. So I have to push myself, and it means not be tired, not be exhausted while you do it, because that chapter will effectively things would be weak. I'll end up ruining a chapter because I'm trying to rush it. What's the point of that? Let's just give the chapter what it needs. Let's work on this. And eventually we'll give the world something that could really help people in the same way all my other books do too. Yeah, this one's turned out quite nice in that sense. So I'm sharing some videos along the way, of course, just to show people a window into it, really. Because I can talk about the tarot cards, for instance, in the book, and I can reference certain readings. But people just have to take my word for it, because I can't visibly show you the shuffling and all those things because it's written. But by me doing the videos, I get to give people a window into what I'm actually saying. You get to see how I'm shuffling. You get to see how the cards come out. And you can decide for yourself whether you feel I'm doing anything. I'm not doing it. I'm literally asking questions and shuffling. It's not any more complicated than that. You could literally just zoom in if you want to and try and find a specific part where I'm shuffling. I don't do anything. I did it a long time ago. I think it was my daughter. she was like staring at the cards because I was like, look, if I shuffle these, this is when she was developing her gifts as well because she can do it now. And she takes it serious. She doesn't always delve into it because you're mature and you're growing, but she knows to do the protections and things. But yeah, when I first started my journey and I was doing the cards, she saw, and I'd say they just jump out when I'm asked a question or spirit wants to answer me. But I said, if I don't ask anything, nothing comes out. So when it jumped out, she goes, whoa. And then all of a sudden, I'm asking another question, but she's literally staring at my hands just to make sure that I'm not pushing something or doing anything. And even she noticed it's just popping out from nowhere. I said, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's not, don't be more, you see some people, especially on social media, when they're shuffling, they're so aggressive. And I'm thinking, well, if you shuffle so aggressive, inevitably you're going to throw something's going to, friction. So, I do think there's no need. Spirit will give you the cards. You don't have to force the card out, but some people are mad. And I just think, you don't have a lot of faith that the card's going to come out, do you? Because you're trying to throw them out yourself, which is quite self-defeating. Anyway, I'm not going to go on too far here. Hopefully it's given some sort of insight, really, because I mean, what we got there is multiple connections in my life, and you're seeing potentially what they think of me individually. You're seeing what I think of them individually. You're also seeing what my spirit guides think of the circumstances or the people. And it's quite interesting that often spirit aligns perfectly with me. So we're in tune. What they think is the same thing I think. So we're balanced in that sense. And I think that's quite beautiful because it happens more than once. And even things about like my gifts, my path, you've got two people that say have the same exact card come out, and I have this all the time and it blows my mind. Like we even had that, didn't we, with two people? We literally got the two exactly the same cards come out. And I shuffled. Like that wasn't just like one shuffle, throw out. That was shuffle. Any cards in the deck could come out in any amount, and literally a whole section of cards come out yet again. That was mad. That was mad. Yeah, I get that some things don't surprise me, and some things blow my mind because it's like that. I'd love to know the odds of that. The odds of one. You think about that. The odds of one card coming out that matched the previous set. I'm pretty sure that's probably still that's incredibly rare. But to have like maybe 5 cards come out that was exactly the same as the last one, and you've done multiple shuffles, what are the odds of that? It blows your mind sometimes, when you're talking about odds, statistics, this is rare. This is incredibly, you would argue the odds of it are impossible. Like I would argue it's probably like the lottery sort of thing, But I need to validate, I'm here to just share the journey. And that's exactly what I've done there. In this instance, I don't normally talk about comments and things. I probably disable comments because when I think something's really personal, I don't need people shitting on something that's quite beautiful, in my opinion. There is toxicity in the world, and sometimes we do have to protect ourselves from it and set boundaries. And there's times when I do set boundaries on what I do. And in that instance, this isn't one of those where I'm really interested in a conversation. And that's what it comes down to. Comments are available for conversation, to talk upon a topic. In this instance, I'm not particularly interested in talking about the topic. It's more me just sharing part of my life. But it's not really open for too much discussion, to be totally honest. Especially when it comes to people in your life, because there's other parties involved. You don't know the ins and outs, the intricacies. Like, for instance, you might be interested in someone. You don't know the depths of their life too much, but they might already be in a relationship you're not aware of. So all of a sudden, if that is a situation you're not aware of and things are developing behind the scenes and you don't really have anything to do with it, but the other person starts maybe thinks you are part of something that you're not, even they can get reactive, and it's like, you don't need that nonsense. It's like, that's overthinking it. But people do, they actively get reactive, and some people just idiots. Like I had a video, the video I did yesterday where I said, I'm going to try and get the book done in a week. I watch all my videos back, by the way. So if it's an hour long, I'll watch the whole thing for an hour again. Because I have to know what I said in it, and I also know how I present. It's really important that we grow from the content we do. So there's always room to improve. You can't improve unless you watch it back. So I watch everything back. And that video, even if someone disliked the video, and I thought, you idiot, like, who is this? So I asked my cards, is it someone I know? And they said no. I thought, well, what idiot did that then? Like, that's just so pathetic, you sad act. That's what I thought. It only bothered me in that sense. What sad moron goes and does that to a video? Like, I don't dislike anything. I just move on. So I just think, like, you're mentality is so low vibrational. It's crazy that you just, I don't know. I couldn't bother to think about it much beyond that. I can't remember where I was going with that. Yeah, who knows? But no, yeah, that video, for instance, if you got past that section, it actually got quite deep in spades within sections, because I've put chapter titles like in it, timestamps, and I thought it was a really good video. So even if you didn't like that part, for instance, me just talking about the book, which I don't understand, so straight away I'm thinking, is that person jealous? Am I triggering them? Is it the fact that some people are ambitious? It's a threat to their illusion. Like, what is the problem with that? Like, I just thought, you're not telling. If you dislike it, that doesn't tell me it's bad, because I know it was good. It just tells me a lot about the individual, you know? Some people are just incredibly narcissistic. It's like, you be you. You go spread your hate, you weird freak. That's what I thought. So, yeah, it didn't affect me in that way. It was more like a morbid curiosity of who is this cretin of a human being that goes around leaving negative reactions, because I don't do that on any video. I will literally just close the browser. Like, I don't see the point of trying to ruin what someone's done, even if I'm not interested. Like, but anyway, don't digress. Don't want to go too far. I've done quite a long video that I didn't plan to do. Yeah, I've been sat here quite a while, haven't I? So yeah, that's me signing out.